First full name?
Captain Mark Seals with the Montgomery County Precinct 4 Constables Office. Last week we had our investigators that investigated a scrapyard where one of their employees was embezzling over $100,000. We did speak to the suspect Saturday where he was arrested for the theft. We do have evidence that does show that he has stolen over $100,000 throughout their cash registers. Today we had our investigators actually travel to the Houston area where they recovered approximately $33,000 in cash. That's through bank accounts that the suspect had money in, as well as a safe deposit box.
And also from his home, they had some property in his home?
In his home, we were able to recover over $15,000 worth of computer equipment, along with jewelry and stuff that he voluntarily gave up to the deputies.
Now, where has most of this money gone to? Since it's over $100,000, you've tracked $15,000. What about the rest of that money?
The rest of the money, when we were talking to the suspect, he indicates that the bulk or the majority of the money was sent over to Karachi, Pakistan. We're still investigating the leads and investigating exactly how that money got over there.
What did he give you a reason for it?
He actually told his wife that that he had won the lottery, and he indicated that he purchased 2 townhomes in Pakistan for his family.
What about how's he coming across on this now? He's been pretty cooperative on this whole
He's
thing?
actually been very cooperative. He's indicates you know, that he's very remorseful for his actions. Typically, we've been told that these cases take 6 to 8 months to investigate. My hats go off to the deputies. They wrapped us up in 4 days.
What about the business owner?
The business owners, they're ecstatic that they're getting, you know, what little we were able to recover. So it's going to turn out good for them, for what, you know, they expect.
He was a pretty trusted employee then?
He was a trusted employee. He was trusted enough to run the cash register, but you know, obviously he stole a lot of money from them.
What's going to happen now? What are we looking at?
Right now, he's going to be charged with theft, $100,000 to $200,000. He's also being charged with money laundering, $100,000 to $200,000. There are additional charges that will be brought as this investigation unfolds.
Has moved more than $100,000 in U.S. currency by his own admission.
And how was he able to do this?
As far as moving the U.S. currency, some of it he has moved to different bank accounts within the United States, and as well as he has wired money to Pakistan.
Do we know how much he sent to Pakistan and for what reason?
We don't have an exact value on the money sent to Pakistan yet. Admittedly, he's moved at least more than $100,000 to Pakistan.
Do we know what that money is for, or what he has said it's for?
According to the defendant, it's to support a family in Pakistan. Other than that, we have no evidence to support any illegal, it being used to fund any illegal crimes or anything like that.
The whole thing is an illegal crime.
Yes, sir.
No, just, you see some things from his home as well. Tell us about those things.
We've seized some electronic devices from Mr. Hussein's home, as well as some jewelry that was purchased, admittedly with illegal funds.
And you're concerned about what's on those computers. What are you hoping to get off those computers?
We've seized a couple of computers and some mobile devices. Eventually we'll be executing search warrants on that to look for evidence of the crime, money transfers and stuff of that nature.
You guys were told initially this would take 6 to 8 months, and you broke the case in 4 days. How do you feel about that?
Well, to complete the investigation, it could take several more months. We need to expedite this investigation in this case because we felt Mr. Hussain was a flight risk. If we had not moved a little bit quicker on it than what we had, we feared that he may leave the country before we could secure any funds that could potentially get back to the rightful owners, as well as holding him accountable for the crimes.
And you have been, I guess, some of the banks have been cooperative, the others you're still waiting on, the jury's still out.
That's correct. Bank of America has been completely cooperative. Amergy Bank, we have some details we're working out with their legal department at this time.
Now, you've been able to go into safe deposit boxes here at Bank of America. What about at Amegy? Is it just an account, or is it a safe deposit box as well?
Yeah, Amegy Bank, there's only a couple of accounts, and at both of these banks, Mr. Hussain is voluntarily relinquishing his funds from those accounts.
How much have you been able to recover so far?
Off the top of my head, we have approximately a little over $22,000. We expect to get maybe another $10,000 from the other bank.
Is that pretty good in recovering money, or?
We'd hope to recover more funds than that. Unfortunately, a large amount of it's already been transferred to Pakistan, so we'll have to work on that long term.
And what was the scheme? How was he able to get this money from this company, and what company?
Basically, the scheme was Mr. Hussain worked in the cash room at a metal recycling company where they purchase metals. He basically came up with a scheme where he was making false purchase invoices and taking the money out of the cash drawers. A pretty simple skimming scheme. Typical of what you would see at any other type of business like Walmart. It's just on a much higher level.
And were they able to find out through their internal audits, or did someone tip them off? How?
The company did some internal audits as they noticed that they were short on funding in comparison to what the metals they had purchased and what they had been selling. And they have come up with a ballpark figure. They suspect somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000 to $300,000, though we have not found evidence of that yet. The investigation is still ongoing.
Is he showing any remorse, regretful, anything like that?
He has been remorseful. He's very somber. Obviously, he's not happy with the situation he's in. He feels like, according to him, that he's betrayed the owners of his company and the trust they put in him.
Anything else you want to add or say?
No, that's it.
Josh, how did this whole case come about?
This whole case came about, basically the business contacted us after they noticed that they were short money, and they had begun a preliminary investigation, and they just wanted some advice on how they should move forward with it, and we offered them our assistance best we could to try and find the best resolution.
How was he when you first talked to him?
Our first contact with Mr. Hussain, he denied everything, but he eventually gave a full confession. He's been extremely cooperative since he decided to confess.
What about the banks, him coming in jail garb and shackles and everything else? They kind of surprised at it, or what?
Kind of a little surprised at it. We gave him a heads up that we're going to be coming here before we just walked in there with him. But it's not your typical scenario, but I think this is what we needed to do to best expedite this.
What do you figure on total money recovered so far?
I think by the time we clear the other bank, we'll probably recover approximately $30,000 in cash and maybe another $20,000 in personal property.
Okay. And over $100,000 already sent overseas, though?
Correct, according to him.
How much was sent overseas? How much was sent overseas?
According to the suspect, approximately $100,000 or more.
Okay,
over $100,000.
Did he say what that was used for? Why it was sent over there?
Support his family.
So he's got other.
He has other relatives in Pakistan.
Okay. All right.